Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Hawkman, issue number 1. Been waiting for this for a while. Been waiting for this for a couple of weeks. I didn't realize that, okay, here it comes. Here comes the butchering. Slepan Sejek. Sorry I'm butchering your name, dude. Please don't punch me in the face when I come up and I actually meet you one day and say, hey, can I have your autograph? Can you make it out to Comic Book University? Say, oh, you're the idiot who's always messing up my name. Bam! No, please be nice. Please be nice. I won't call the cops on you or anything. I will totally understand why you did it, but still. Look at this. Oh my God, this is just awesome. This is awesome. Love this guy and his Aquaman run and pretty much anything this dude does. He's my favorite internal comic book artist, all right? I got other people I like for the covers, all right? But internal artist, oh my God. I've never seen anybody draw as well as that guy inside of comic books just because of what he did on Aquaman alone. He was telling most of the story, in my opinion. No disrespect to Dan Jurgens. Look, let's actually talk about Hawkman, okay? And Robert Venditti and Bryan Hitch, who made this incredible story. Guys, full disclosure, I am a Hawkman fan, all right? He is my second favorite character in all of comic books. First is Captain America. So if you do the math, my favorite DC comics book character is Hawkman, all right? Look, aside from places like Hawk World on the internet, so you got like a Facebook group and the Twitter, who knows what else they're doing. And aside from places like the Hawkman, Hawkgirl fan club, also on Facebook, all right? It's hard to find people who really know and love Hawkman at the same time. So I think that more than enough of us Hawk fans can say that most people who come on to a Hawkman book, I myself, I get nervous all the time when I see a new Hawkman stories coming out, even if it's not in his own book, if it's just like a limited series or even just like, you know, oh, the Justice League or Justice Society is going to be making a nice Hawkman arc in the story. I'm like, I'm the type of guy that I see a really good movie and I'm like, all right, that's an awesome movie. I love this movie. Please don't make a sequel. Because if they make a sequel, they're just going to screw it up. They're not going to be able to improve on what I just saw here. They're only going to make it worse, right? That's how I feel. And sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I think that the best Hawkman stories are in the past. That's how I feel. I'm very conservative when it comes to Hawkman, all right? Very conservative when it comes to Hawkman stories. Because I just don't think most people are going to do it justice. The best person who's done a good Hawkman job since the originals was Geoff Johns, in my opinion. No disrespect to Walt Simonson, he did good too, but regardless, I can't say all good things about that entire run. Then all of a sudden these two guys come along, Hitch and Venditti, and oh my God, just his first issue. Look, I'm not saying that the second issue is going to be great also. What I am saying is, if the second issue is not good, they purposely blew it up. They purposely bombed on it because how can you make a story bad after this first issue? This was really good. Look, I tried to find things I didn't like because I know that I'm partial to Hawkman. I tried to find things I wasn't going to like, and I'm sitting here and I'm, the art of Hawkman and things like that. And I saw like this page here. I was like, oh, the wings look stupid. The wings are too small. This is stupid. Why would they do this? And then I realized the next page is there's no wings. What's going on with where the wings go? Where'd the wings go? Then he's got wings again. Like what did they forgot to draw the wings? Like what's going on, man? Nope. Turns out he's got collapsible wings. Yeah, he's got the hawk symbol. He clicks it on. He doesn't have it on before. Clicks it on, all of a sudden, boosh, the wings come out. And he's got the whole costume on. And he could fly. He could bring the wings out or in at leisure. And he does it. Look, guys, you know what I'm going to compare this to? The DC Expanded Universe. The Star Wars Expanded Universe, all right? Where you've got, for crying out loud, not Coram Wrath. I can't remember his name right now. I want to say Coram Hall, but that would be another Hawkman avatar. Oh my God, how cool would that be? Anyway, there's this one guy who's a much older Jedi, came in way too late, and he made a lightsaber that could actually extend and turn into like a Shoto, a much smaller lightsaber also, and he uses that to his advantage. If he ever locks up with somebody and he's, pushing, lightsaber versus lightsaber, he'll actually drop the lightsaber to off and then suddenly turn around and step back and turn it on, and it'll be like, a 6-foot lightsaber blade and just, cut through somebody. It's like, whoa, he's actually not just using lightsaber combat. He's having combat with his lightsaber in multiple different ways that nobody else ever used it before. Really dangerous to do, but it makes for totally awesome reading. Yeah, now I'm seeing a Hawkman who's like a Jedi in that regard. That's awesome. That's awesome. So he could literally blow up his wings or bring them back in, you know, contract them to nothing out of nowhere. I read The Savage Hawkman. Full disclosure, didn't like The Savage Hawkman. I'm sorry, no disrespect. No disrespect to anybody who's written or drawn anything. Just, that's not what I do. Look, you guys make comic books, I don't. So your successes anyway in that regard. And one day maybe I will, but I'm not now. So I got no problem saying, like, just because I didn't like a story doesn't mean that it was a bad story. Just wasn't my cup of tea, all right? I don't like tea to begin with, but I like Hawkman, and I like the way that he's presented here. Guys, there's a page in here, excuse me, a double-page spread, all right? And look, double-page spreads get abused a lot. Not here. Not here. Look at this. Look at this. And first off, besides the fact that Hitch went and made, before we get into, look, before we get into what Venditti did in here, what Hitch did here was he drew this incredible scene with all these different versions of Hawkman that we've seen and some that we haven't seen before, and it's one person drawing all of this. And look, you'll if you know the Hawkman books, you'll recognize some of these images as actually being those images. We've seen this version of Hawkman way back in the day. King Khufu, Prince Khufu, drawn exactly that way before. Now, this doesn't look traced in any way. And even if he did, so what? But it's the idea that, look at all these different versions of Hawkman on here. One person drew that. Most of the times when you get a double-page spread like that, or you get some kind of a, you know, throughout the history of, like, Thor, issue number 695, am I right? Whatever that book was, where they actually said, hey, you know, Walt Simonson, can you come back and draw this version of Thor for a little while? And, oh, hey, we need this guy who drew this, and this version who did that. Can we get these people to come back and draw their versions of Thor in this, just, you know, for a little, like, nostalgia trip? One person drew this. One person drew all those different versions of Hawkman, and they all look genuine. They all look authentic. That's pretty good. You know what Venditti's contribution to that double-page spread is? Turns out there's going to be a big spoiler here. All right? And this is the biggest spoiler I could possibly do. Turns out that Hawkman didn't just reincarnate all throughout time. He also reincarnated all throughout space. So there's not just been versions of him in Earth, but there's been versions otherwhere also. Now, I have thought of this concept before because there's clearly been versions of him over on Thanagar also, right? Turns out there's a version from Krypton also. What Venditti did here was he actually made a new house also. And if you've got a name, if you've got a last name, most of us Superman fans know that, that means that you've got a distinguished house. You're not a rankless. You've got a distinguished house. So he just created a new house here. That's pretty noble. Either he just went into this blindly, doubtful, or he said, you know what? I'm going to have some real damn fun here. All right, I would love to see the version of Hawkman on freaking Krypton. Holy crap, that would be awesome. I want to see about the house. I want to see all that crazy stuff. I get the feeling we're going to see that. This is amazing. The things that were done here. There were new versions of Hawkman. There's a version on Rann. All right, so R-A-N-N, if you're not familiar, where, you know, like all that good stuff. Dude, there are versions of Hawkman on multiple planets. And that probably means there were multiple versions on those individual planets also. So colonization, different species all over the place, different races all over the place, different complete genetic genius all over the place. Like, that is insane. So when he said, I think I'm missing a part of my, my history, yeah, dude. Yeah, you really were. So that means that there were actually, not archaeology, I didn't study archaeology, I'm not actually Qatar Hall, or am I? No, oh, for crying out loud, I took one lousy class in anthropology. The idea of parallel civilizations. So how did the pyramids grow, or, you know, how were the pyramids made with that design in Egypt and the Mayans at the same time? Doing those, like, two completely different worlds. Does somebody come over and share the blueprints and say, yeah, I know they're not exactly the same, but hey, no. These are two, they're called parallel civilizations. How they grew so similar to each other, right? And that's exactly what we're getting here. Parallel versions of Hawkman at the same time in different parts of the world. So the mystery right here is going to be off the chain. Everything that we know about Hawkman still counts. Everything. And damn it, it's about freaking time. So all of the different versions of Hawkman, they all count. They all count. They all mattered. They're all in the timeline. It doesn't matter. Oh, but this one was at the same time as this one, so they were clearly different people. Nope, sorry. Everything's on the table now. That's awesome. I couldn't have asked for any better. Guys, I'm going to tell you that as soon as I was finished reading this comic book, because, again, I'm the guy who hates sequels. As soon as I finished reading this comic book, I called up my comic book store. They were closing in 10 minutes. And they're like, yeah, listen, we're closing up pretty soon. Whoa, 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 first off, it's me. I give you guys publicity. Answer me. I want you to go into my box, and I want you to add Hawkman to my weekly poll. Okay? A new Hawkman comic comes out. Anything with Hawkman, you put it in my box. You make sure I get a copy. And I get my stuff a day in advance. You know what I'm saying? I get my stuff a day in advance. Or if one of the companies decides to send something early, that's something different. But no, I don't take those chances. I want certain books in my pull box regardless. And this is officially in my pull box. And as a Hawkman fan, and not just some fanboy, no disrespect. I'm not just some guy who's going to like anything Hawkman, I love it. Oh my God, no, I'm very particular. I'm extremely particular. Very choosy. And I love this. I cannot endorse this enough as a Hawk fan. Grab this comic book, guys. Because if you don't know anything about Hawkman, the way that this story is being told, you will. You absolutely will. Guys, that's going to be it for me. Go grab this comic book. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.